Hello and welcome to UFC Posted. This is the very first show that we have done. This is our post-fight review show live from the Fight Week Hotel right here in Rotterdam. We're about an hour outside of the post-fight press conference. Myself, John Gooden, of course, Dan Hardy. This evening we are going to be pulling in all sorts of fighters, coaches, managers, get their views on the evening. But first of all, we are going to discuss a couple of bits.
Yeah.
What a night.
What a night. I'm still flying and my adrenaline is still pumping.
Debut event here in Rotterdam, and let's talk about the main event then. Okay. So, after the co-main event, I had to visit the little boys' room.
Okay, as you do.
As I'm visiting the little boys' room, someone jabs me in the side and says, "Give me all your money." I turn round, it's Alistair Overeem with his gum shield in, laid back as you like.
Of course. And he kept it going through the first round as well.
And then he just, gets ready to walk out. I mean, this guy, it's unbelievable how relaxed he's been all week.
Yeah.
Bit different to Andre Arlovski, however.
Yeah, but he kept his calm a lot better than I thought he was going to. I mean, my expectancy for the first round was him to just charge forward, a flurry of punches, and try and get the fight finished quickly. And there was a moment of that, and Overeem backed up and covered up really well against the fence, but kept his eyes on Arlovski. Didn't look flustered at all. And then Arlovski kind of realised, I think, that it wasn't going anywhere and stepped away. But I was expecting him to be far more aggressive, and he kept his calm a lot better. But then again, I think Alistair Overeem came with things that he wasn't expecting. I mean, the takedown, the scramble that came with that, the ground and pound. It was a good performance.
What about how creative he has become?
I
say become, he's always been a creative fighter, but the way that he set up the finish was beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is what makes him so exciting as a heavyweight contender, is because he's got so much experience as a kickboxer. He's got so many different tools to draw from.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about someone. I mean, say Ben Rothwell, for example. Ben Rothwell knows he's got a massive, powerful right hand, so that becomes his focus. Yeah. Whereas Alistair Overeem is a heavyweight that can draw on a whole spectrum of different techniques that he's used throughout his career.
Yeah.
And he's gone through different phases in his career where he's been successful with the knees, or with the straight right hand, or whatever it is. I mean, that snap front kick was a thing of beauty. And what's interesting is that we were talking about the switch knee on the breakdown show.
But he's done it.
It's exactly
even
the same
more
technique.
distance.
Yeah, it's exactly the same movement, but obviously with the front kick on the end. Dislocated his toe at the same time.
Yeah,
as well.
you were telling me just off camera. So Overeem apparently had a little foot injury, which got remedied pretty quickly inside the octagon.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. With my view from from my seat, as Overeem got the fight finished and the referee stopped it, he walked towards me and he was limping immediately. And I could see he was looking down at his toe. The doctor came in and he just kind of stood there and celebrated for a second. And I just watched it back on Fight Pass as well. And as the doctor comes in, it cuts away and you get like a wide shot, so you don't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
And he actually pointed down and he said, "My toe's dislocated." The doctor leant down and just pulled his big toe and stood back up again. And Overeem went, "Oh, is that it?" And the doctor said, "Yeah, that's fine." And then he carried on celebrating. But it was like it was over in a second. Yeah.
Now, we were speaking on the UFC Breakdown about the atmosphere that might be created back at Jackson Wink. I mean, I was backstage and I saw the celebration from one half of the camp and the dour mood from the other side of the camp, which was a bit interesting. What do you reckon, though, after you've seen that? They've had a little embrace after the action, but what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it was very amicable at the press conference. Arlovski was complimentary of Overeem. Overeem, said that they'd not really spoken after the fight, but there was a connection there. They made eye contact with shaking hands. Before the fight, I noticed that Overeem ran round and spoke to the opposite corner, to Greg Jackson and Wink, and then went back to his own team. Completely ignored Arlovski though.
Yeah.
But then, afterwards they both seemed quite amicable. I don't know. I mean, it depends how it's going to be in the gym on the mat once it's all settled. Sure. After the aftermath, there's always a moment, whether you win or lose, where you just kind of take a breath and the madness is over. No matter how it's gone, before it actually sinks in, you just have a moment where you relax and breathe for a second. Yeah. I usually have it. I've just got out the shower, and I look in the mirror and I just stare into the mirror and go, That was a roller coaster,
right.
So once it's sunk in, then he starts to get that anger back and that frustration that he lost the fight. Yeah. That might change the dynamic in the gym.
Okay, we're going to pause it there because we have our first very special guest. Come on in.
Can I sit between you guys?
Yes, of course you can. That's the better spot. First of all, I mean, we spoke on Fox Sports And I think the hairs on my arm have just relaxed. I actually came out. It was the only walkout that I managed to come out for tonight. But what a walkout to pick. That was epic. And by the way, you played it brilliantly. You embraced it. Stefan kind of ran to the octagon, but you really absorbed every single moment of that.
You know, normally I walk fast to the octagon too. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm just walking fast. I'm like, just get it done. You know, I want to be there. But when I walked out, I heard my coaches say, enjoy the moment. This is your moment. And I walked out and I saw the crowd and I was like, wow. I was lifted above the ground. That's how it felt.
Yeah. And the way that you carried on with the song as well, you got everybody pumped up. From my view, I could see you, just a few meters away. And the whole crowd behind you, when the song kicked in, everybody just started bouncing. God, that got me pumped up.
That was crazy. Yeah, I said first thing when I stepped out of the cage, I want to do the walk again. Can we do the walk again? I want to do it again.
Yeah. How did you keep it calm in the fight though? After all that, after the adrenaline, because I fought in my hometown and it was so difficult to kind of keep my calm and not let my adrenaline get carried away.
Well, I think as you know, as a fighter yourself, you get to that point where you have to pull back a little bit. You know, I didn't want to rush. I didn't want to overcommit, even though I did a few times. But the only thing that went through my mind, enjoy it. This is your time, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And this was the perfect birthday present to yourself and your mum, right? Because you've both had birthdays like really recently.
Yeah, that's right. A week and a half ago.
Okay, very fresh. So now you can have some cake.
Yeah, hell yeah. Not just cake. I'm going to eat all the sweets now.
Are you straight back in the gym or do you take a bit of time off after a fight?
So the thing is, one of my training partners and a few other guys at the gym, they have to fight in 3 weeks.
Okay.
So tomorrow morning I'll be in the gym to help them. They have my back, so I'll have their back.
Do you corner the fighters as well?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Do you enjoy that? Do you think you'll move into coaching after you're done?
I don't know if I want to move into coaching fully after I'm done fighting, but right now I enjoy it, the atmosphere, the youth, and to see everybody grow, and the environment. It's just amazing. I just enjoy everything right now, Life is too short to not to enjoy things.
Of course. So let me just pick up on something that you said at the press conference. Somebody posed the question about the fight with Cyborg. Obviously, I actually tweeted after you won. I think you would beat her. I think that would be a great fight. But you said you really want to focus on a run towards the title. You want to get a title shot. Have you got a plan for that? Did you put like a 3-4 fight plan together? Have you got some people you're targeting in mind that you want to beat?
No, I never target anybody. The thing for me is I like to perform. I like to finish fights, and maybe it's 5 fights, maybe it's 10 fights. I don't know how many fights I'm away, but I just want to make that run. I feel good. I have no injuries right now. I feel healthy. I'm very strong right now, physically and mentally, and I want to keep that streak, and I just want to continue and grow, and I just hope that I get a little bit of a, maybe a top 10, girl right now, and just to settle my name and to make sure everybody knows who the Iron Lady is. I come to fight.
Yeah.
I just want to finish fights and give the fans one hell of a night.
Yeah. I'm not looking to make you target anyone, but I'm quite interested to know if there's anyone in your division that you really enjoy watching or you have a particular appreciation for their style.
To be honest, I really don't watch a lot of fights.
Okay.
Not a lot of ladies' fights.
Is that because of is that by design that you don't do that?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Who do you watch? I'm always interested to see what other fighters are drawn to watching.
Honestly, I like to see the guys, or like Joanna. I watch her.
Okay.
Claudia. Now the rivalry between them.
Yeah.
I watch Ronda. I really like Ronda, her style. Her aggression.
Yeah.
I respect all the girls. I like all the fights. Because like I said before, it still takes so much to walk out of that tunnel, go up in that cage and fight. I respect that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If you ask me, I want to fight somebody that comes to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, this was the debut event for the UFC in the Netherlands. We know that there's strong kickboxing over here, and I don't think any of us really predicted the kind of reaction that the UFC was going to get. It sold out super quick, and tonight, the atmosphere, Dan, you were sat there all night. I was backstage, I could feel it. Did it live up to the expectations for you, or did it exceed them?
Exceed beyond belief. I can truly say I have right now, overall, combined with my kickboxing career, I have 56 pro fights.
Wow.
I've never felt this in my entire career, and I think nothing will ever come as close to this.
Yeah. You know,
Maybe when I fight for the title here,
Yeah.
but
Amazing.
this was like a title fight. This is how it felt to me. To me, they crowned me as the champion, the people's champion tonight. And
Very nice.
And then, I mean, that's amazing.
You know, we spoke earlier. I was on the same fight card as you a long while back actually. I was part of an MMA tournament, and you were Thai boxing. And I remember your walkout then. You had like a prison jumpsuit on, like an orange prison jumpsuit.
Yeah.
It was the scariest fight on the card, honestly. This Thai clinch, this poor French girl, you just destroyed her. And when you walked out tonight, I turned to my wife and I said to her, watch for the Thai clinch, watch for the knees. Amazing, really good performance.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
And how much are you enjoying adding to your skill set? Obviously, we've seen you in Muay Thai, but we actually saw some different elements today because Anna did try and take you down, and she's very, very strong. I spoke to her team, and they thought that her wrestling and jiu-jitsu would be where she would certainly excel. But you're adding to that skill base. How much are you enjoying maybe putting on the gi or just those wrestling classes as well?
For a long time, I didn't enjoy it at all. Seriously, I didn't like it. I do love wrestling because it's very aggressive and the athleticism that comes along with it. But now I also really embrace Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I said it before, I hope that many girls sleep on it and think, oh, we're going to just try to take her down and just lay and pray on her or ground and pound her. It's not going to be like that anymore. I want to make a real run for the title, and I have to work on my overall game. So I want to be. I'm an MMA fighter now, not just a kickboxer anymore.
Beautiful stuff. Well, look, I've really enjoyed talking to you for the second time this evening. Congratulations once again on a fantastic victory. We should let you go and celebrate with your family and friends now.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Dan, definitely one of the standout moments, that walkout. For me, I took that moment to just go around from my position at Fox Sports and just feel it and listen to what that was like. It was just unbelievable in the arena. That's just so good for football and everything as supporters.
It was, they just really embraced the event, the whole event. And even recognising the changes in position when, I remember when Gunnar Nelson passed the side control and the crowd reacted.
And talking of Gunnar Nelson passing to side control, look who it is. It is the Jedi Master himself.
There you go, sir. Have a lightsaber. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
John Kavanagh. So is it true? Is it true what they're saying? No, we won't get onto that. Let's talk about Gunnar's performance tonight. I managed to speak to him after for Fox Sports, and I think I started with, well, there wasn't much wrong with that. Do you agree?
Oh, he's a coach. He's going to find something.
No, but exactly, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would have liked to see him when he was getting to him off the defence to keep him on defence. He did let him off defence a bunch of times. That wasn't part of the game plan. But the takedowns on the outside were beautiful. I was just saying to the guys, I've never seen someone escape mount from Gunny. So that was interesting. I'm actually going to watch it back to see what Tumanov did because I can't budge him. So I was like, whoa, that's impressive. You escape mount. No, but he's really starting to find confidence in. He's been experimenting with different styles of stand-up, but the kind of side-on karate points fighting in and out style, that's his style. That's what suits him. He's very, very fast. When he hits, it's not about generating a huge amount of power, sort of with the boxing style of like twisting the foot and the hip and the shoulder. It's more about his weight is traveling forward.
Yeah, so that momentum.
The hand is just delivering the weight. So that was nice to see that work. And then the ground is beautiful, well done, Tumanov. You escaped the mount. I actually want to get a private off him on how to do that. But when you get the back, when he gets your back, it's a bad day.
Yeah. So sorry, I was just going to say, from where Gunnar was, and I'm sure Dan will talk about this in a second as well, but the type of opponent that he was presented with, Albert Tumanov, coming in with that kind of momentum, for your liking, has he just stolen that away?
I hope so, because I think sometimes, especially for the American audience, they mightn't have known Tumanov. I think the guys in the circle would understand who Tumanov is, and well, not really much point in me talking
the man
anymore about this.
This makes it awkward.
So I didn't like him before, and I still don't. But here he is.
Tell me about what you do with regards to game planning for the next fight now, because you've just talked about a few things that you spotted in the fight that you'd like to work on. So do you write something up? Do you go back and watch the fight again and review it?
Yeah, I mean that's all we've always done is, you know, whether it's a win or a loss, try to get something from it, try to improve from it. You know, maybe that was sort of strategy heavy for that particular type of opponent. Who knows who it's going to be next? I think the welterweight division is in a bit of flux right now.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of guys that are in their late 30s that are amazing, but probably on near the end of their career. I actually thought tonight was a very important fight for the welterweight division. You got two guys in their kind of mid-20s, and the winner of that fight was going to be on a trajectory to, I think, challenge for the belt within the next 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Gunny, how's my posture, first of all? I can't now sit next to you all slouched.
I think your posture is always quite good.
Oh, thank you. I've been watching you very closely, but I'm
Mine's not.
working well. So.
I've been fighting for too long. I'm all curled over. I've been doing loads of yoga to try and straighten it out, but it's not working.
Better.
It's getting there. How do you stay so relaxed in the fight?
I don't know. I think I'm just like this, you know. I'm not always relaxed. I mean, a fight is a fight, you know. I think I look different than I am sometimes.
Is it just a calm exterior?
Yeah, well, maybe I am relaxed. You know, I don't know. I'm just in it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Because I thought you started more aggressively tonight than I've seen you before. I thought immediately when the fight started, you pushed him back against the fence quite aggressively, like as if you were going to attack him immediately. And I saw him respond. It was almost like he wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Definitely, the game plan was to push him a little bit, you know, and get a good feel for his movement, and then take him down, or you know, punch him down, something like that, you know, and then finish him on the ground. That was kind of plan A. Although I'm not much of a planner in general, so well, it worked out.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, and I think Dan and I have spoken about this in the past, and don't hate me for what I'm about to ask, but do you guys ever approach a Gunny fight with the scoring system in mind, in terms of clocking up the points? Because it seems to me like you approach fighting in a real purist sense of you're going out there for the finish. So it's not like we see many of your guys from SBG, look, 30 seconds on the clock, let's grab a quick takedown and advance the position. Is that conscious in what you do? Is it just all about going for the finish?
Yeah, I've always been about finishing the fight and finding ways to finish. And sometimes it can be a bit like you're moving around and you're taking too much time to figure out how to get in there and finish the fight, where you could be maybe just picking shots and you know, getting the points in. Well, I think that there has to be a balance there. You know, you have to be able to pick on him a little bit and put in the points, as well as in your mind is always, you know, you're looking for that finish. It's you're not going to take that out of me anyway. I'll always be looking for finishing the fight. You know?
It's interesting because we do Inside the Octagon, which is like a kind of a breakdown show that we've been doing for a while. And I always have the same kind of pattern when I'm picking out a fighter. I pick out certain things in their game that they do very well and how they compare against each other. But you're the only fighter that we had to break down differently, because you're the only person that seems to fight in a pathway. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have a routine. You go into a fight, you wait for that sharp punch that stuns them, that pushes them against the fence, drag them down, and then it's just a case of you passing to whatever choke you want to take. Do you train like that? Is that?
Yeah, it is the way I am, I guess, you know. But I definitely have been trying to add into my game little just go-to moves. To just put in even just to touch him, you know, just to keep my sense of distance and keep myself kind of in there without losing my vision for the finish, you know.
Yeah.
And I also think it can be bad to be too hungry for the finish, too hungry for just, you know. And I don't mean to be like that, but it's just like I'm just naturally trying to, you know, find that little weakness, that little point, and then once I'm on, you take it down. Then I just want to progress. I guess it's kind of jiu-jitsu. It's how jiu-jitsu was made. You know, you never take a step back. It's like half guard, pass, mount, they roll, back take, choke. There's no there's no going from side control to guard again. You know, that's unacceptable. You know.
Yeah. So final question, because we've got to let you celebrate your evening. What is the strategy going into protecting Gunnar Nelson from his neighbour and getting that tree planted again?
Yeah. Well, I think he's got to go around the back of the house. I've no idea.
Craziness. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on a great win. Coach, good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Good to see you. Congratulations, man.
Because we have another very big guest waiting to take your seat. He's going to almost take up the room of both of you men. As we welcome in main eventer, Alistair Overeem. I won't mess up my lines. The Demolition Man. And in fact, it was a demolition. We spoke a little bit earlier. It's settled in a little bit more now. Where are you at?
Well, you know, you get so many impressions on an evening like this. I mean, then you'll know that feeling. So it'll take a couple of days, if not a couple of weeks, for me to realize what just happened. And yeah, I'll be. By the way, I'll be going to the gym on Tuesday again because we're not there yet. I'm still very hungry for that UFC gold, and that means we got to keep going.
Yeah.
How's your toe?
My toe. I thought I was doing a John Jones on me. So basically, you know, I hit Andre Arlovski with the crane kick, or what you can call it.
Calling it the crane kick.
The crane kick. The crane kick. And you know, I finished him on the ground and pound, and then I stood back up and I felt something on my toe.
Yeah.
And I looked down. And
Andre's tooth?
well, I mean, you feel something. You just
Sure.
look, hey, what's that? Usually your toes are like this, right?
Yeah.
One toe was like that.
Right.
And I was like, oh no. There goes the title win. So I started walking a bit different. That's probably what people saw. I was a little less celebrating. I was like, hey, let's take care of this toe. Immediately a doc ran in there. And I said, are you okay? I was like, well, look down there. And he's like, oh shit. He's like, you want me to fix it now? I said, yeah, sure. And he just pulled the ropes. I don't know what he did. But I looked
Sounds like a
down,
magician.
and then they were back like this again. So that made me happy.
I just told the story. I could see it from right at the side of the octagon. You came in and just kind of pulled it, and you were like, "Oh, it's done."
Yeah.
The relief on your face.
Well, because your toe is like, I mean, look at John Jones.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was going on with him, but I think, you know, you don't want your foot broken because that's 6 months out. I want to hit the gym straight away. I want to get back in there because we got a title win coming.
Well, let's talk about that. We'll come back to you for just a second, but I'd like to get your thoughts on who would you like to get? Who would you like to get? Who do you think is going to win next week? And do you think you're the next guy? If so, you know, what do you think about Velasquez
I think
as
I'm
well?
the next guy. If I'm, you know, if I look at the numbers, I am the next guy. And, you know, made the best man win between Stipe and Verdum. I give it a 60-40 to Verdum. I fought the guy twice. He's very clever. He always has traps, and he's patient too. You know, maybe not as athletically gifted, but he's got a brain. He's using his brain in his fights. And then on the other hand, you have Stipe, aggressive fighter, great hands, great wrestling. But I don't, you know, I've seen, of course, I watch these guys fight. I observe them. I study them. But I've not seen a surprise in this game. You know, he's good at what he does, but Verdum has surprises.
Okay.
And I expect him to come up with a couple of surprises. And, you know, Verdum's superior striking. He's always improving. So I expect the surprise coming from Verdum.
What were your thoughts on the Rothwell JDS fight?
I thought it was a very good performance by Junior Dos Santos. You know, it was a little bit the question: how would he come out of that loss against me? Yeah. But I mean, I have to give it to him. He was 5 rounds on, 5 rounds on point. He was doing his thing. He wobbled Rothwell. Rothwell was on a nice winning streak, so I mean, he stopped him. And with JDS, I didn't really see a surprise. But it was the old JDS. Tough, can take a shot, great cardio, doing his thing, controlling the distance, and just put him right back in the mix too.
So let's bring it back to you then, and I'm assuming you are going to go back down to Jackson Wink at some point for this next camp. Talk about how that now happens. Do you have to make a couple of calls and maybe just make sure there are no creases in the atmosphere down there, or are you confident that you're just going to be able to walk in the gym with your hodl over your shoulder and it's all going to be good?
I'm very confident I can just walk in the gym. I mean, I've a great relationship with the coaches. I have a great relationship with all the fighters there. There's tons of fighters, you know, in all weight classes, girls, guys. I mean, I'm very good with the whole team. Andre was the only one that I was a little bit less with. We never trained together. We never hung out together. But I hang out with everybody in the gym. We play poker. We hang out. We go. So.
You a good poker player? I think you're a good poker player. You've got that poker face about you.
I like to take money from people.
Listen, actually, I told the story at the beginning of the show.
I'm not professional, but I like to, in Albuquerque there's not much to do, so you just hang out together. You go to the movies, you eat something, or you play poker. That's a little bit your thing. It's just, so, and you become better, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a good story you was telling us
did,
about.
yeah. So I was telling everyone that I didn't go into specifics, but we're in a bathroom. It was just before your walkout, sorry. And someone jabbed what felt like a gun in my side and he'd give me all your money. I mean, this is you with your mouthpiece in, so that's you wanting to take people's money.
You're from London, so you kind of get that humor.
Of course I do.
If you came any other, you probably, I'm in Amsterdam, oh my God, here's my money. I did make you laugh.
You did make me laugh, just because the situation, man. You're about to go out for a huge fight, main event in your hometown, and I expected to perhaps see someone with just blinkers on, but you just had an open mind, and it's incredible to see.
To me, when I'm in the flow, and the flow, you don't just become in the flow. You have to build it up. You've got to piece it together. It's your people around you. It's your workouts. It's your diet. It's the whole package. And when I got that on point, I feel it, and you become automatically more relaxed because you're in the flow.
Yeah.
You can finish fights at any time. The cardio is on point. There's no weaknesses.
Yeah.
And that just makes me feel great. And apparently I radiate that.
Well, it's been beautiful to see. We're going to let you got an after party to go and look after. Thank you so much for stopping by. Congratulations once again. Look forward to seeing what comes next for you, sir.
Awesome.
Dan,
thanks, man.
And you guys are invited, by the way. So.
We will wrap this up.
Yeah,
we may well join you.
We've got a couple of the guests, I think, and then we're going to come and see you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see you again.
See you
Thanks,
again.
Alistair.
Thank you, my friend.
So, Dan, it was such an impressive performance. Again, we started off the show talking about it, but we obviously had Germaine to come in. I think we got to the point where we were really breaking down the technique.
Yeah.
Some wonderful stuff there from Alistair. A great finish. I mean, he does that thing. I think I remember it from like the Stefan Struve, where he kind of pulls back, and it's a very measured strike, and the referee had no choice.
We saw the same thing with Germaine as well tonight. She landed that knee. Her opponent went down, and immediately she just stood there for 1 second, one punch, clean finish. It's like the old school, the old school martial arts days where you're doing your defense, your self-defense stuff. Well. Take the guy down and snap one punch finish. But Alistair's got a very intelligent way of striking. We talked about it on the breakdown, how he controls wrists and removes the guard before he strikes. We saw it in the Frank Mir fight. We also saw him use it against Stefan Struve when he was stacking him over his guard. He was controlling the wrist to strike. It's nice to see high-level strikers move into mixed martial arts and start to apply those striking tactics and that knowledge to the MMA game, the striking game on the ground. I think that's one area that we're really going to start to see evolving a lot more in the future.
So is there anything that we got out of Alistair there when we had a quick chat? Anything that surprised you? I mean, just how cool and calm is this guy?
Yeah, no, he's exactly what I expect him to be. I've been following him for a long time, and he's always been very, very cool, very calm, and he just seems to kind of get better as he matures. As he's grown into his career, he's become more confident, more self-aware, and just more dangerous. I mean, he's so patient. We saw it in the JDS fight where he just kind of measured his opponent, and he did a great job of that again tonight. And that snap front kick, the crane kick. Yeah. Beautiful.
Lovely stuff. Well, it is the only piece of gold that he has missing from his mantelpiece. Yeah. We're going to ask you now about your 3 most memorable moments.
Can I pull my list up on my phone?
Pull up your list.
Okay. A lot's happened tonight, and I have to make notes, you see. I'm getting old now. Okay. Favourite moments? Okay. Well, the first one's an easy one. The beginning of the second round of the Reza fight with Jan Cabral.
A little confusion.
I loved it.
Which turned out quite beautiful.
I loved
a warm
it.
embrace.
Yeah. So Jan Cabral reaches out to touch gloves. Reza says no, let's get on with the fight, and the whole crowd boos. So
Reza likes to be loved.
He does. He's like, all right, okay, we'll touch gloves. They touch gloves, and he's like, no, hang on. Do you want us to hug? It was a beautiful moment.
It was like a sequence, wasn't it? It played out, because they, of course, were apparently friends before.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have known it from the weigh-ins,
No.
but I'm not sure how closely they've worked in the past, but I was backstage and I saw Jan come out. Reza was sitting down and he was kind of motioning to him as if to say, I didn't know whether it was real or not, because he kept looking over and then sort of nodded.
Right.
But I don't know if it was a nod, a weird kind of nod that I didn't understand. Anyway.
Well, they had trained together. That's what Reza's management told me. So they were familiar enough with each other to to have spent time on the mat. So there's that. Germaine's walkout, we've already discussed that. One of my favourite moments.
Beautiful.
And the ream toe thing. The other thing I've got to mention is Josh Emmett's finger.
Oh, I tweeted about this.
Yeah, Dana White put a video out of it. He dislocated it, so that the last, 90 seconds of the fight,
Yeah, I think so.
he was being very evasive. He was trying to move around, and the crowd were booing. I don't think they really understood.
No sympathy about that.
None at all.
Finger that was sticking out like that.
I don't think they really understood what was going on, but he actually had split his finger, and the bone had come through the skin. Was it like Uriah Hall's toe when that happened?
Beautiful.
Similar kind of situation. But I've just seen him getting off the bus. His hands in a cast to keep his finger in the right place, but apparently he's not out for very long, so we should see him again soon. And he
Great
looks
debut
amazing.
as well.
Yeah,
Really good
Really
debut.
strong.
Lovely movement.
very fast.
So that's probably a favourite moment and probably the nastiest moment of the night.
Yeah.
Any other nasty moments for you?
I would just say that swelling on Tumanov's head. I mean, Gunnar Nelson has the most vicious way of throwing elbows on the floor. And that swelling came very, very quickly. Not quite Hominick-esque.
Yeah.
But it was getting there. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fantastic night of fights. It's been a really great roundup here, Dan. Thanks for your views.
worries.
I look forward to doing this another time on another show
Next time.
soon. So stay tuned for that. Look out for UFC breakdowns and Inside the Octagons, where we do all of that stuff, and we are looking forward to getting some lyrics laid down for you in Hamburg.